This is Shahjahanpur, 23rd March 1955. My dear brother, received your kind letter dated 17th March 1955. Read the contents within, which gave me a good deal of pleasure. When my master made me his representative, he demanded the Guru Dakshina from me, which is prevalent among the Hindus from the time immemorial, so as to spread spiritualism throughout, because the method of transmission is fading away from amidst the Hindus. I solemnly affirm that throughout my life I shall devote myself for this sort of service. As such, all my spiritual energy is secure for the service of you all. So, when I become restless to impart spiritualism to my fellow beings, the work I did in the short tenure of power, the world will remember after me, when those things would come to light that I have so far reserved. So, if anybody comes to me for the spiritual service, I think myself indebted to him. I do not stand as a guru to impart training, but as a servant of humanity. Consequently, to be more frank, I shall spare no pains in giving you every possible approach to a higher vision. The attraction of the transitory world, of course, is predominant in every mind, because we have been attracted towards it by our own force. If that force be directed towards Almighty, we will naturally be relieved of the things mentioned in your letter. You please leave all these things to me, because this is my work and not the business of an Abhyasi. There are practices too which we will do in the mission. I am writing to you these practices to do for some time in the morning and in the evening. If you do them, you will soon develop your Anubhava Shakti and will be able to notice the condition of your mind very soon. In this way, you will be helping me also in my task. If you have no time to do the practices even, then your progress is sure, and I am now taking your case in my hand from the night of 23rd March 1955. But I will request you not to avoid prayer given hereafter, that you must do at bedtimes in the way I am writing to you. I promise you for all support, but please make it a point to inform me your condition fortnightly. I will take some time, no doubt, in removing the complexities, darkness and other impediments from your system, which I am reading from this place, infusing at the same time the godly effulgence. You will begin to feel light-heartedness by the grace of God in a very short time. Prayer. O Master, you are the real goal of human life. We are all yet but slaves of wishes, putting about our advancement. You are the only God and power to bring us up to ultimate state. Repeat the word once or twice in your mind and begin to meditate over its true sense and then try to get lost in it. This is real method of prayer and greatly beneficial meditation. Sit for meditation in the morning, say for half an hour in the beginning, and think that divine light is present in your heart. Do this in quite a simple and natural way without forcing your mind in it. Never mind if you do not actually see the light there. Start with a mere supposition, so to say, and remain sitting in a meditative mood in one posture as far as possible, with your inward eye turned towards the heart in the most natural way, without trying to force yourself to concentrate. Cleaning. In the evening, sit in the same manner for the same duration and think that all inner complexities and grassness are going out from your backside and in the form of smoke or vapors. With best wishes, yours affectionately, Ramchandra, Shahjahanpur, UP, dated 7th 1955, 5th April 1955. My dear brother, many thanks for your letter of 31st March 1955, which gave me great pleasure. It seems that you are sensitive to spiritual influences. Those who devote themselves to work under proper guidance must succeed. Faith and love are sure medicines for all kinds of diseases of the mind and its weaknesses. It is the brave who conquer battles of life as well as attain bliss. You have begun well. May you tread the path with steady feel and a stout heart. Rest assured, my services are always at your disposal. I hope by the grace of God you will develop capacity to ensure worldly disappointments, etc., to an appreciable extent by the end of this month. Please inform me when you feel so. With best wishes, yours brotherly, Ramchandra, Shahjahanpur, UP, dated 18th April 1955. My dear brother, received your letter of the 6th instant, which I presume must have been dispatched before the delivery of my reply to your previous letter. I look with grave concern to your disturbed condition, which I am confident shall definitely end by the close of this month. As I already wrote to you in my last letter, by that time your internal troubles and obstructions shall considerably be reduced, along with an increase in your power of endurance. Weaknesses and shortcomings there are, no doubt, in everyone, but I find no reason why one should take the pessimistic view of them. We should never be disheartened. Dejections and disappointments are the worst poison for the spiritual life. Will, faith, and confidence are the essential factors of spirituality. They dispel clouds of dejections and disappointments which surround our mind. You should watch your day-to-day condition and write in a notebook, date-wise, in the form of a spiritual diary. I advise this process to all my associates. It will be very helpful for speedy progress. If you do it, you will soon begin to feel a general improvement in your condition. Proper, unfortunately, people do not do that. That's it. Swamiji has written a diary and published it also that please continue your. I am sure that there will come a time when you will see the light of the day, but it will take some time. However, decidedly, you feel something of the sort in a few months by the grace of God. Please continue your abhyas, by which I will be helped a great deal. Is best wishes, Ram. This is beginning of initial stages of Vardhacharya introduced to this system. Initial letters these are. Reading them is very useful for us, because in what condition he was a great philosopher. Vardhacharya was a great philosopher and great man, and at that time, of course, the philosopher in the spirituality itself, but is a theoretical. Is a theoretical. Even in the universities, they teach that optional subject known as the spirituality, religion, spirituality subject is there. People take that as a subject and pass this, and the easy ways to pass, get the degree. That's how people look at it, and not practically everything theory only. Anyway, problem is by reading this, we know what was the earlier condition of Vardhacharya. Great philosopher. He was a professor of philosophy in SV University, Tirupati. He, of course, he wanted practical experience, though he is a philosopher in the philosophy only. In religion and philosophy, he was the professor. For practical knowledge, he wanted it. It is said in his writings that he approached Aurobindo. He went to Aurobindo at Pondicherry. Of course, he was asked to wait for the interview with the Aurobindo at that time, because a lot of demand was there, and mother was also there in those days. After some time, he was admitted inside. Aurobindo asked him to sit before him and close his eyes. He just glanced at his heart of the Dr. K.C. Vardhacharya. Then said, "Why you have come here?" He said, "I want spirituality as a practical training under your guidance." He said that I am not the guru for you. You wait for some time, your guru comes to your own house. So I cannot take you as my shishya. And thus he was sent away. And like in the same way, Babaji Maharaj came to Tirupati at his door as a guru, and naturally all this lot of things have changed in him. That what we read now during this time. Actions are more important. Swabhavajena kanteya nibhadda svena karmani kartu nesa janmohas karishya visho apitat. That's what the Shastra says. Swabhavajena kanteya. Swabhava means nature, alavatu. that nature is very important. Actions are very important because they mold our personality. Svabhavajena kaunteya. If you repeat few times, an action, it becomes habit. Suppose somebody smokes for joke's sake, for fun's sake, with the friends for 3-4 times, and the 5th time it becomes habit to him and he cannot leave it also. In the same way, for the fun's sake with the friends, he drinks for 5-4 times, and 6th time it becomes habit, he cannot leave it also. So action repeated becomes the habit.
Habits become nature.
So habit becomes the nature, and what you are, our nature is. You can't go beyond the nature. You are forced. Nature. You don't want to do it again. I don't want to drink it again, but you are forced to drink again. Whether you like it or not, your mind is not your control. Problem is that generally people are you and me and people are slaves of our minds. We do what our mind tells, not knowing it. Actually, we do not know that we have got a mind and we are thinking about it. Things automatically go on it because system, human body is in a perfect system, including mind, sensor organ, pulse sensor, motor organ. All this is equipment, and Atman is there, and mind acts like a mirror, and when in that mirror Atman looks into it, then a shadow is formed. That shadow is ego. What is that ego? Feeling that I and mine. The feeling of I and mine is ego. And not that binds. So I do it, it is mine. These feelings bind the ego. That is how ego is. I already told you, when Atman reflects in the mind, a shadow is formed. And this shadow is ego, the feeling of I and mine. It is valid so long as the mind is there. During the sleep,
No mind.
Mind is not there, so the shadow is not there. That's why ego is not there. Somebody drinks and falls on the road. Mind is covered with the alcohol vapor. So there is no image of the Atman properly coming up. So there also he forgets everything and falls on the road. Ego is not there, working not there. So ego is a reflection of the Atman. It is a shadow. We walk in the sun, our shadow falls on the ground. We do not mind how where the shadow falls.
This is original.
Huh?
This is original, real. This is shadow.
Yes, this is what is yours, that's the shadow.
Yeah, without this cannot be.
Yes, that's true. So, ego is just like a shadow, and it is valid so long as the mind is there. When mind is not there, shadow is not there, the reflection is not there, so ego is not there, and feeling of I and mine is not also there. So, svabhavajena kaunteyam, nibbadda svena karmani. So, when repeated action becomes our nature, svabhava means our nature. And kartum nature is in mohas karishyate. Once we become that, we cannot go beyond that. It becomes our very nature and we are bound by that. Unfortunate things are happening like that. We feel that we are the mind only. We do not even feel that we are the mind. Things are automatically happening. Kartum nature mohat avishya, you are compulsorily made to act. One habit is formed, nature is formed, you are cannot go beyond that. So you see, without thought nothing happens outside. Psychologically it happens like that. We have samskaras. Prarabdha karma is made of samskaras. The present life is nothing but samskaras in operational format. From birth to death, whatever the period is there, that during that time it unfolds just like a cinema reel. All the stories there in this cinema reel, but all the story does not come at once. It goes on, released frame by frame, and after some time entire story is exhibited projected. In the same way it is happening like this also. During the 100 years of human age, the prarabdha becomes unrolled year by year, and during this time mind becomes more and more functional and powerful. As soon as the baby is born, mind is not developed there. So if you look into the eyes, it is a pure reflection of the Atman there. That's why Shastras say, baby's newly born sight is the reflect the Atman. Shastras say that. But as this baby develops, mind also develops, and it gets converted. Mind converts the consciousness into formative. So thus we have got two factors in us. One is the absolute factor, another the relative factor. The absolute factor is Shiva. The relative factor, the phenomenal factor is Shivani. Shiva Shivani. So everybody has a Shiva and Shivani. You are both Shiva and Shivani. Shivani is the phenomenal consciousness, the mind, which takes the power from the Shiva and converts into phenomenal name and form activities. It converts the power from the Shiva and converts it into name and form format. Actually there is nothing but except pure absolute consciousness, there is nothing. But you see the name and form variance. That name and form variance comes because of the mind. That is Shivani, mind. It is the Shivani, the mind, that converts into name and form format. Shiva into name and form format concern. So we do not know all these things. Things go on automatically happening. We do not think that everything is happening because of the mind and thoughts. That is the situation. It is only few people left to the who knows this thing. Even they also, unless practice is there, they also say cannot do it. You may theoretical knowledge, but you must have the practical. Atmanat jantunam narjalma dullabam tato mostato viprata tasmad vaidika marga parata vidvastasmatam atmanatma vinswanbhavo muktastakot punirvina labhyate. So getting human life from animal life in this evolution process is very difficult. Having the human life and to get born in a family which is educated, and that was spiritual educated, known as Brahmin. Brahmin is the one who is educated in spirituality, in Vedas and other. To get that also opportunity of a family in which spirituality is already being practiced, that get a birth in that family is very difficult. So then, even also not sufficient. Atma Swana, unless he practices and he gets a feeling that what is Atma, what is Anatma, what is my body mind, am I only body mind? And when so many people are dying, so that means everything is over by the death. Such feeling should be there. Shastra, no, things are not ended by the death, because Atman is there, which is permanent. Because Atman, mind and body is an equipment which gets dynamized and converts into name and form format. That is phenomenal. Name and form, phenomenal factor, gets it. And that is the most that we get is Atman Swanubhavo Mukta Sargo Punarvinalabhya. This is unless you get a punya of Shatakota Janma, 1,000 court lives, only you get this. See, what is the 100 is nothing. Just be born, be die. Like insects, they come, they go away. Like there's so many hundreds of thousands of people have coming and gone. Great people have gone, conquered the world, but they died away. They never felt doing that. I am conquering, but I leave it. I have to go away. He never feels that. Question Atman, questioning. Out of thousands, only somebody one has this feeling of that who am I? That feeling comes only Satajo Dharma Punyal Vinalabhyati Dullabham Trame Vaitadevanugrahetkam Manushratvam Mukshatvam Mahapurusha Samshaya. The three things are very difficult to get. Dullabham, very difficult to get. Trame Vai, three things. Unless you get the grace of the God, Parameshwara, Manushratvam, getting human life is very difficult. Then Mumukshatvam, feeling that who am I, from where I have come, who is creator, who is this created world. There is a created world, I am there, and creator is there. What is the relation between me and the created universe and the creator? This feeling is Mumukshatva. Is very difficult to get. Even then get Mahapurusha Samshaya, help. Even somebody has this gut. To get a person who can help you in that direction is very difficult unless you get the grace of the Ishvara. All this is because of merit, punya only. Nothing comes without nothing. Nothing comes for nothing. Unless we have done, we may not done in this life. But previous life you have done a good. Now you are experiencing like that only. Prabdha karma is like that. Enjoying what we have already done that. The karma has got three dimensions. Prabdha karma, Sanchita karma, Agami karma. The Prabdha karma is now what we are living in. Sanchita karma is that when we do it again, we earn it also as a reaction, action, reaction. When you act, something comes out as a reaction. Action, reaction will be there in your action. And that becomes again one more point for future life. Agami karma, that's become agami. So Sanchita karma, agami karma. And this, and again all this accumulated one for year after year, the life of the life is known as the Sanchita Karma, Agami Karma, Sanchita Karma, and that will come again as a Prabdha Karma. It is life goes on like this. That is the life of Punarjanma, repeated birth, which Hindus believe, Buddhists believe, and Jainists believe. Not the Muslims or Christians don't believe this. Punarjanma, rebirth aspect, doctrine of rebirth is believed by Hindus and Jainas and Buddhists, but not Muslims or Christians. They don't have this feeling, this philosophy to guide them in their life. They have got only one life, that's all. Yeah, good, and they say that if you have done something good, you have died. After when Pralaya comes, doomsday comes, Pralaya means doomsday. This everybody, every religion accepts doomsday. After some time, doomsday comes where everything will be dissolved. Entire universe gets dissolved. Then again reborn again. At that time, God make them live again from their graves. They bury it in the graves, and they make them live again and ask them, you have done good, you have not done good according to the Quran, according to the Bible. So you go to hell or you go to heaven, that's all. He goes to hell for how long? Nothing is there. He goes to heaven, how long? Is nothing is there. There is no choice for them, it's all God's will. Things go on like that, but it's only in the Hindu which gives you full satisfaction for an intellectual in this process of life and death. No other religion gives that satisfaction. For a rational, intelligent person, intelligence also, it explains everything. It is your own hand. You only built it, you only damage it. You build your own life. That was Hindus said. What I meant to say is, Swabhajam Kamta Nivasa Kartam Nechas Yal Mohas Karishita. That's why we must be very careful in doing the actions concerned. And naturally, actions are guided by our Prabdha Karma, Sanchita Karma. Somebody said that Prabdha Karma, you believe in Prabdha Karma, that means life is fixed. Then what is the use of it? They ask it. It is not like that. Within that you got every independence. Within that there is no absolute independence to anybody anywhere else in the life. Any religion also, no absolute freedom. Forever, an astronaut sits in the and goes into space. How much freedom he has got? He has no freedom. He is guided by the directions from the below center. He asks, this is time to eat. You eat this. He cannot everything eat. Whatever provided is, he has to eat.
Tablets.
Yeah. You can, and within the time is limited, within the time you must eat. You eat 10 times, you lick it or eat at one time, that's a different thing. It is like that. We are fixed in that. An animal tied to a pole with a 5 feet rope, how much freedom it has got? It has got 5 feet. Within the 5 feet, it can lie down, it can get 10 times, 100 times its own leg. Yet, destiny is like that. Liberty is like that. Liberty is there, it is conditioned, no absolute liberty. Liberty is conditioned, not absolute, as we like. Society won't allow you to behave as we like. And it puts certain restrictions, community and society, and we have to fall in that groove, whoever it may be a prime minister, a great warrior, whoever it may be. This is the situation. So what I meant to say is, one has to be very careful in doing the actions, because it is action which brings about our nature and into our future concern. So thank you very much for this. We will see again. Right.